Hey guys, so I've been feeling kind of blah lately. And you know, normally for a movie review, I would have put on some nice clothes, I would be in my set, I would be standing up, I'd have the lights on me, I'd be very professional about it, and you know, I would have some kind of script or a list of bullet points or something. And that's just usually how I do my reviews. That's just the method that I've always used. But today I didn't really feel like doing that. I didn't really feel like putting on a very excited and energized face that isn't really representative of how I'm feeling. And I feel like something that I'm really proud of this show, of my show, is that my reviews are very honest. I like to give very honest reviews, I like to tell it like it is, and a lot of you guys have commented and told me that you really appreciate my honest reviews and you really appreciate how straightforward and honest I am with you guys. So I felt like it would be kind of disrespectful to you to put on a face and do a movie review all excited and energized and, you know, fake. Really? And I don't want to be fake because you guys are awesome and I want to just give you what you deserve. And sometimes I feel like movie reviews could be even better if they were just very conversational, kind of like I'm just sitting here talking to my friend about a movie that I saw the other day. That's what I'm gonna do today. I'm just gonna sit down, I'm wearing my pajamas. I went to see War Dogs the other day and I'm gonna tell you what I thought about it. Pretty much just like a stream of consciousness kind of review. And if it ends up being a really shitty review, then I probably won't do this again. It's kind of an experiment that I'm doing because I just didn't really feel like putting on a fake face today. I just posted a video on my personal channel talking a little bit more about this, and it's just kind of like an update sort of thing. So if you're into hearing me talk more about this and more about lots and lots of other random things, feel free to watch this video on my other channel. I haven't posted anything on there in a while, so this is kind of me coming back. But anyways, you came here to learn about War Dogs, which I just saw the other day, and so let's talk about it. Let's review this shit. Sorry for getting so real here. I'm back. Steph is back. In the game. So War Dogs was directed by Todd Phillips, the same guy who did The Hangover and all that stuff. And it is based on a true story of two young men who were arms dealers and they won this huge deal to sell a bunch of weapons to the Pentagon. And it's a crazy story, and it's super cool to see that story brought to life on the screen. Two guys, David and Ephraim, are played by Miles Teller and Jonah Hill. And quite frankly, I think they did a really spectacular job. When I walked out of the theater though, I didn't originally think that. I walked out of the theater and I was like, that was a good movie. It was good. I didn't leave the theater going, wow, that was amazing. I also didn't leave the theater going, that was the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, it was just like, I thought it was a good movie and I enjoyed it. But it took me a while of like sitting on it to realize that I actually really appreciate this film. It's a really well-made film. I think what I like most about it is how accurate it is to the original story. Like, they didn't miss a beat. Like, this story is almost completely exactly the same as the actual story. They changed some characters, they changed a few details, but overall, all of the important details are all in this movie, and nothing has changed dramatically, nothing has changed for like dramatic effect. Like, they didn't do something because they were like, oh, I know this didn't happen in real life, wouldn't it be so cool if this happened? Like, they didn't do that. They just stuck to the story, and I really appreciate that they did that. And maybe that's why when I originally left the theater, I didn't feel like totally overwhelmed with like movie magic. I think it's because this is a very real story and it feels very realistic, so it doesn't have the pacing of like a very dramatic and exciting like plot twisty movie. It's just like a really interesting true story. So if you go into this movie with that in mind, I think you can really appreciate it. Don't expect a lot of, I mean, there is a lot of crazy stuff that happens because this story is crazy, and I mean, that's why they made a movie about it, and that's why so many people know this story, and so many people have talked about it and written books about it and articles about it, and it was just a crazy thing that happened. Unfortunately, in the movie world, crazy stories happen all the time, so when you see a story that doesn't totally blow your mind, you're left feeling kind of disappointed, but then once you realize it's a true story, your mind is totally blown. I don't know if that made any sense, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down. Jonah Hill and Miles Teller have such a great chemistry on screen that I never would have even expected. Like, they're so different and they're so polar opposite of each other. We have Jonah Hill, who's playing this just crazy corporate, twisted, manipulative asshole, and then we have Miles Teller, who is this like kind of soft-spoken, very chill, very just kind of living life. He doesn't really dream that big. He's just kind of there, doing his stuff, doing his thing. And when you have those two people come together, played by those two people who just, I don't know, something about them just really emulates these characters, and it really brought it to life in a really, really, really interesting and amazing way. Bradley Cooper was also in this movie because we all know Todd Phillips just freaking loves Bradley Cooper. He's also the producer of the movie, so, you know, makes sense. Basically, Bradley Cooper plays this character named Henry, and he's basically sort of a culmination of a bunch of real people in the real story, and they just sort of mushed him into one character to be like, he's like a villain, but also not the villain. It's kind of confusing. He's like, he gives them this deal and he provides them this deal, and it's amazing and wonderful, and then, you know, things kind of turn and he's painted as more of a villain because he's mostly just this terrifying man. He's just a terrifying guy. He's kind of creepy. And it's kind of weird seeing someone as just like beautiful as Bradley Cooper playing this terrifying creepy man in glasses. It's just like, ugh. But he did a really, really great job. He did an amazing job. I think he really pulled off this character. But I've gotta say, I gotta give it to Jonah Hill. He was the best part of this movie. Todd Phillips even said that he wrote this movie for Jonah Hill. Like, he wrote this character so Jonah Hill could play him, and that was a great choice because he just slayed it. And I'm excited about it because I feel like Jonah Hill always gets typecasted as playing these like nerdy, dorky, just like the reject fat kid. He never really gets to play like a badass. Like, even in 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street, he's badass in those movies, but he always starts out as being like the dorky fat kid. So it was refreshing to see him playing a very different role, and it was really incredible to watch because he was so good at it. Now, there were a few things that I originally disliked about the movie, mainly because there was like a lot of racist jokes and just really not tasteful jokes that people were laughing at, and I couldn't laugh at them. I couldn't let myself laugh at them because they just were so terrible, and I wasn't about that. But then I realized that all of these jokes were coming out of Jonah Hill's mouth, and his character is an asshole, and it makes sense for him to be making these terrible racist jokes. And then it's kind of okay, and it didn't really bother me that much because that's his character, and he's supposed to say things like that. It's terrible, terrible things, and so it fits and it works, and they were written well, and there was just a really good balance of like comedy with action and drama. And I was watching this interview with Todd Phillips where he talks about how that balance was really important to him, and it really made me appreciate the movie a lot more because he wanted this balance to be very real. He wanted it to feel like real life, and in real life, like day-to-day real life, you do go through a lot of like drama and comedy and action, but your day-to-day life is never like 100% a comedy or 100% a drama. Like, there is a balance there, and I think this movie really captured that balance perfectly. Like, it felt very real, and I really enjoyed it. I would say if you're thinking of seeing War Dogs, I would go into this expecting it to be, it is an action movie, it is a drama, it does have some comedy, but if you're looking for a crazy blockbuster popcorn flick kind of thing, you might not get that. But if you're looking for a really interesting story, really compelling characters, really great acting, really great cinematography, then you will probably enjoy this movie a lot. So there you have it. War Dogs was a solid film. I really enjoyed it. The story behind this movie is just incredible. It's incredible that this is a true story. This is a real thing that happened in real life. Like, what? And it's crazy to see how just like totally corrupt and fucked up the American government is, and just the concept of government in general, just everything is so fucked up. And this movie really brings that to light, and I think that's really important, and it's really important to see how fucked up the jail system is. I feel like this movie just talks about a lot of important things. It talks about this story in a very important way, in a very accurate way, and it's also very entertaining. And it's just a really good movie, and I think you should all go see it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry it was kind of in a weird atmosphere, kind of weird vibes going around, but that's just how I was feeling today, and kind of as of late, so we'll see how this goes. Feel free to check out my personal channel if you want to. I post lots of random whatever kind of things over there. On this channel, I pretty much exclusively talk about movies and just like consumable content, and believe it or not, that's not all I do with my life. I don't just watch movies every day. Well, maybe I do, but I do other things too. So if you are into that, feel free to check out my other channel and subscribe. I just posted a video today about just some random things that I felt like talking about. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this is your first time here, feel free to subscribe to this channel and comment and like and share and all that good stuff. Until next time, I am Steph Koza, and this is Rated N.